warm welcome. You're watching Race to Power with me, Raisha Sehgal. On the show tonight from the United States of America, we'll tell you how the US President Donald Trump has ridiculed Musk's America Party and called the Tesla SpaceX owner a train wreck on Truth Social. On the show tonight, we ask if Elon Musk's America Party can go beyond X to be a political force in America. From Nepal, we will tell you how the issue of restoring Nepal's Hindu state status has resurfaced in the ongoing Central Committee meeting of the Nepali Congress. All right. 1 month after public breakup with Donald Trump, billionaire Elon Musk has officially thrown his hat in the political arena. His announcement of a new political party called America Party has sparked another round of back and forth between Trump and Musk. Earlier in the day, Elon Musk released a promotional video of his America Party. In this video, he promised secure borders, safe cities, respect for Constitution, and freedom of speech. They're also some of the key themes of Trump's agenda. US President Donald Trump attacked on Musk's new political party. He called the move ridiculous and said he has gone off the rails. Trump said it's always been a two-party system in the US, adding that a third party just adds to confusion.
And I think starting a third party just adds to confusion. It really seems to have been developed for two parties. Third parties have never worked. So he can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
It was not just Trump. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also slammed Musk's attempts to enter the political fray, asking him to stick to running his companies. According to reports, it was a fallout with Bessent that ultimately scripted a Musk-Trump breakup. The drama allegedly played out in the White House hallway, where both of them had a physical altercation, with Musk getting punched in the face. He also appeared in the Oval Office with a visible mark around his eyes.
So, I was just messing around with little X, and I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did. Turns out even a 5-year-old punching you in the face actually does.
That was X that did?
Yeah.
Musk is seemingly taking a multi-pronged approach to hit Trump politically. He has previously vowed to fund Republican primary challengers against any senator or House member who voted for Trump's big, beautiful bill. With the new political party, he's taking a more direct route. But Americans' voters are traditionally divided into conservatives and Democrats. It remains to be seen how and where Elon Musk strikes to break down this duopoly. And while joining us live is Yugen, the third political analyst. He is joining us live on the broadcast from Washington, D.C. Welcome to Race to Power, Yugen. First up, of course, Trump has ridiculed Musk's America Party and said he's gone off the track. But my question to you is, can Elon Musk's America Party go beyond X to be a political force in America?
Absolutely. See, the thing is this, right? America does have third parties. The issue is that they typically don't have resources to actually compete. But the beauty of the midterm elections is this, right? Elon Musk could very well take his America Party and then run some candidates in some very specific places and very easily, win 3 or 4 or 5, 6 House seats and maybe 2 or 3 Senate seats, or at least tip them in the way of the Democrats. And the thing is this, Donald Trump, of course he could speak from experience with third parties because, hey, the first time he ran for president in 2000, he actually ran on a third party ticket, drawing all the 13 people at his announcement.
Right. So you do say that Musk has a good chance there in American politics. How sensitive is this issue for the US president, and how bothered is Trump administration with Musk's America Party?
They're very bothered because at the end of the day, right, the only reason Donald Trump is elected president right now is because of Elon Musk. And Elon Musk's resources, whether it was Twitter amplification, whether it was other resources deployed, is the only reason. And Team Trump knows that. And being that they have this big public breakup and Elon's now like a free agent and willing to do whatever he wants to do, they're terrified by it. And if Elon decides to form a new party, which he has, and decides to fund that party, which he says he will, or mobilize people, hey, you look at a North Carolina Senate race, you look at a Texas Senate race, those seats could very well go to Democrats, because Elon Musk would be naturally pulling from voters that voted Republican in the past.
Right. What kind of impact will this have on the midterm elections 2026?
One or two things going to happen. You can see Elon Musk back candidates win an election. Thomas Massey, who Elon Musk has said he will support, congressman from Kentucky, one of the few conservatives left in the House. You very well could see a win like that. Or you could see Elon's candidates just pull enough votes from Republicans that a Democrat win in some of these critical races.
Right, Mr. Yugen, thank you so much for joining us here on Race to Power.
Appreciate it anytime. Thank you.
Well, the US president is once again at odds with BRICS, calling the intergovernmental organization anti-American. On Truth Social, US President Donald Trump wrote, and I quote here, "Any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. There will be no exceptions to this policy." Trump's latest remarks comes after a joint summit at the BRICS summit. Previously too, Trump has threatened the BRICS bloc with tariffs on bets against US policies. Trump's comments comes on the same day that Washington is preparing to send out letters with reciprocal tariff rates. In a short while from now, several trade partners of US will receive the letters or details of a deal on tariff rates. At the BRICS summit, finance ministers of member states issued a statement criticizing tariffs. The statement called tariffs a threat to the global economy for bringing uncertainty to international economic and trade activities. The bloc's agenda also focused on how major currencies are valued. Russia's President Vladimir Putin did not attend the summit in person, but he delivered a virtual address in which he snubbed the dollar and urged BRICS members to use national currencies for trade settlements. The Kremlin also responded to Trump's social media post warning countries against siding with BRICS.
Мы действительно видели такие заявления президента Трампа, но здесь очень важно отметить, что уникальность такого объединения, как БРИКС, заключается в том, что это объединение стран, которые разделяют общие подходы и общее мировоззрение того, как нужно осуществлять сотрудничество, исходя из собственных интересов. И это взаимодействие в рамках БРИКС никогда не было и не будет направлено против каких-то третьих стран.
Chinese President Xi Jinping also did not attend the summit, but the country's foreign ministry issued a statement defending the bloc's position and slamming American tariffs as a tool for coercion.
I've just shared our view on the BRICS mechanism. We believe that BRICS is a positive force in the international community. Its cooperation is open and inclusive and not targeted at any particular country. As for tariffs, we have consistently opposed tariff wars and trade wars. We are against using tariffs as a tool for coercion and pressure. Arbitrarily, imposing tariffs does not serve the interests of any party.
BRICS, formed as a common platform for diplomatic engagement to strengthen the global south, originally had 5 members: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. However, 6 more members have been added to the bloc, taking the total to 11. Nations who joined BRICS included Saudi Arabia, Egypt, UAE, Ethiopia, Indonesia and Iran. Jeffrey Epstein is back in the headlines, but this time the sex offender and disgraced financier's name has been put under the spotlight by the FBI, possibly for the last time. America's investigating agency and the U.S. Department of Justice are reportedly closing the Jeffrey Epstein case. That's months after the new administration vowed to release all the Epstein files. A report by Axios has cited a memo which states that investigators found no evidence of blackmail by Jeffrey Epstein with respect to certain powerful individuals. The report also dismisses earlier claims that Epstein maintained a so-called client list or was murdered. The memo also references newly released surveillance footage from the night Epstein died in his Manhattan prison cell. According to the video, nobody entered the area where Jeffrey Epstein was being held between 10:40 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. on August 9th and 10th, 2019. This was the window during which his death occurred. The footage, the DOJ says, supports the official cause of death as suicide. Investigators also say that there is no basis to charge anyone else in connection with the case and that much of the remaining material, including victim details and explicit content, will not be released. The latest report has triggered a wave of backlash against U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who previously made a passionate pitch on getting all the files released. Pam Bondi released a letter on February 27 this year, calling on FBI Director Kash Patel to submit the thousands of pages worth files and video evidence which the FBI had not disclosed under the previous administration. However, the documents released subsequently triggered criticism for not revealing many details and for pages of information being redacted. Months ago, the Democrats raked up a storm over Elon Musk's now deleted tweet, in which the billionaire claimed that Trump was named in the Epstein files. However, Musk gave no other context or evidence in the since deleted post. After the latest Axios report on the administration closing Epstein's case, Musk put out another post taking a swipe at the Trump administration's changing stance on the Epstein files. And joining us live on the broadcast is our correspondent, Susan Therani. She's joining us live from New York. Hi, Susan. Of course, talk to us more about how these findings represent the first time that the Trump administration has officially contradicted the conspiracy theories and activities surrounding Epstein.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the first official repudiation of those conspiracy theories that, first of all, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, and second of all, there was this clients list, basically, that Epstein had of wealthy and powerful individuals. The Justice Department says that there is no such evidence and has urged people to not go around and spread these rumors and conspiracy theories. However, as you mentioned, there are many who are skeptical, including Elon Musk, and a lot of people who actually voted for Donald Trump. And one of the reasons for that was because they believed that the Trump Justice Department would possibly put out a clients list, or they were hoping that this conspiracy theory was indeed true. So this skepticism is going to continue. The conspiracies aren't going anywhere, but it appears that the Justice Department wanted to put a lid on this with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi at the helm, and sort of say that there is really nothing more to see here. Now, it's also important to note that a group of conservative influencers were invited to the White House, and they were seen a few months back leaving the White House with these banners that had thousands of pages related to the Jeffrey Epstein file, and they were promised sort of more will come after that. But nonetheless, these are material that have been made public as of now, and even they're saying now that what happened to this evidence that we were sort of promised at the White House that day, besides these big white binders. So, the conversation is going to continue. But as far as the Justice Department and FBI is concerned, first of all, he didn't kill himself. And second of all, there doesn't seem to be a clients list.
Right, Susan. Thanks for getting us the latest. The debate over Nepal's religious identity is back in the spotlight as voices within Nepal's oldest political party demand return of Nepal's Hindu nation status. In the ongoing Central Committee meeting of Nepal's Congress Party, calls to reinstate the country's Hindu nation status have once again stirred a debate, revealing a deep ideological struggle inside the grand old party. Despite Nepal being declared a secular state in 2008, a growing number of senior Congress leaders are pushing to reverse that decision, claiming it could help the party reconnect with its traditional voter base. But the party remains split on the issue, with another set of senior leaders opposing the move, warning that repeatedly altering the country's identity would undermine national stability and it could also ignite unrest. This is not the only debate that has occupied Nepal's political space. Calls to reinstate Nepal's monarchy have also gained momentum, with demonstrations and rallies taking place in support of former King Gyanendra. One of the major issues that Nepal is dealing with since the abolition of monarchy is political instability in the country. Nepal has seen 13 governments in 1.5 decades, that's since 2008. Under the 240 years of Shah dynasty rule, Nepal was a Hindu kingdom starting with 1768 when United Hindu Kingdom of Nepal was established. In 1950, King Tribhuvan moved away from a ceremonial role and assumed direct rule. In 1990, Nepal became a constitutional monarchy. But at last, after people's movement locally known as Jana Andolan, monarchy was abolished and 2.5-century-old Hindu state of Nepal adopted secularism. As Nepal's political landscape continues to shift, the battle over religious identity could play a defining role in the country's next chapter. And shifting our focus to Turkey now, the country's pro-Kurdish DEM party will meet Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan today in a bid to push for a peace process with the Kurdistan Workers' Party, a group that has fought the Turkish state for 40 years. In May this year, the PKK announced that it would disband and give up its armed struggle. And according to Turkish media reports, the group could begin handing over its weapons in Iraq later this week. Erdogan is slated to meet DEM leaders in Ankara at 1200 GMT today, and the talks will focus on the disarmament procedure. Turkey's intelligence head, Ibrahim Kalin, is also set to travel to Baghdad to meet Iraqi officials for the same and further coordinate PKK's disarmament efforts within Iraq. Now, before meeting Erdogan, the pro-Kurdish DEM party met with PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan in prison, who emphasized the upcoming meeting with Erdogan as historic in nature, highlighting a hopeful step towards lasting peace after decades of conflict. The DEM party, which is Turkey's third largest party, has played a key role in facilitating an emerging peace deal between the government and Öcalan. Now, since the PKK launched its insurgency against Turkey in 1984, originally with the aim of creating an independent Kurdish state, the conflict has killed more than 40,000 people. Not just that, it has also imposed a huge economic burden and fueled social tensions. The latest peace procedure offers hope for ending one of the longest-running conflicts in the region. Well, 1 year after France's shock snap parliamentary election, political tensions in Paris are once again rising, and all eyes are now on the French President Emmanuel Macron. After nearly handing power to the far right in 2024, Macron has the constitutional authority to dissolve the National Assembly again, a power he currently holds and one that he publicly says he has no intention of using. But behind closed doors, there are growing signs that another high-stakes political gamble could be on the table. The president's decision to call a snap election after last year's European vote was meant to blunt the rise of Marine Le Pen's national rally. Instead, it backfired, weakening Macron's centrist bloc and plunging France into a period of legislative instability. At the center of the current political storm is Prime Minister François Bayrou. Macron appointed Bayrou to stabilize the government, but instead it has led to disappointment so far. Bayrou survived a no-confidence vote last week after barely half a year in the post. The motion of no confidence against his government was tabled by the Socialist Party after the collapse of talks on pension reforms. The measure garnered 189 votes, falling well short of the threshold needed to oust the government. But all is not saved. Le Pen's national rally has not ruled out using its leverage or advantage in parliament to vote out Bayrou, as it did with his predecessor, Mr. Barnier. In December 2024, Barnier, who was the former French Prime Minister, lost a confidence vote in the National Assembly. Far-left and hard-right opposition parties united to pass the motion after Barnier used special powers to push through budget measures without a parliamentary vote. Bayrou now faces increasing pressure, and it's not just political but rather personal as well. Lawmakers are said to be weighing his removal, especially as budget negotiations loom and complicating matters further. An old child abuse scandal from his time as the education minister in the 1990s has also resurfaced, further adding to the mounting scrutiny. According to Eurasia Group, there is a chance that the government can be toppled in September or October. If BRIRC falls, Macron has two options. Number one, nominate a new prime minister or dissolve parliament and call another election. Either choice would carry major political risks for Macron and his party. In India's poll-bound state of Bihar, voter list overhaul exercise has triggered a political tug-of-war, with 8 opposition parties now taking their fight to the Supreme Court, accusing the Election Commission of India of risking mass disfranchisement. Early in the day, senior advocates representing opposition parties urged the Supreme Court to intervene. They called the timeline set by Election Commission to complete the re-roll impossible and said even long-time voters could be removed from the rolls. The controversy centers on the Election Commission's Special Intensive Revision Drive, a sweeping attempt to update the electoral roll covering nearly 8 crore voters. The poll panel says that the move is necessary to remove ineligible entries. But opposition leaders are not convinced. They argue that the exercise, timed just months before assembly election, is politically motivated and legally flawed. Meanwhile, the ruling NDA says that the revision is crucial to maintain the roll's accuracy and to prevent fraud. It has accused the opposition of making excuses ahead of an anticipated electoral defeat. The court has now agreed to hear the matter on July 10th. The legal challenge adds to growing pressure on the Election Commission under the June 24th order. Draft voter list will be published on August 1st. Voters have until July 25th to file claims or objections. Chief Election Commissioner Ganesh Kumar has admitted that no party is fully satisfied with the current voter list, but insists that the procedure is transparent, constitutionally mandated and in line with historic precedents. Suriname has elected its first woman president. 71-year-old opposition leader Jennifer Gerlings-Simons will now be heading a 5-party coalition government on the tiny but extremely important South American coastal nation. While Gerlings-Simons' National Democratic Party won 18 of the 51 seats in the National Assembly, more than the centrist party of the outgoing president, her election came after a coalition deal was struck with 5 other parties. With this, the NDP now jointly holds 34 seats in parliament, obtaining the 2/3 majority needed to claim the presidency. Gerlings will helm the island nation at a time when it reels under the weight of economic hardship and reduced subsidies. Experts warn that the country is facing a financially rocky road ahead with repayments of $400 million in annual debt servicing. The silver lining for Simons in handling the economic crisis is an oil boom that will follow from recently discovered offshore oil reserves. The country is expected to begin producing offshore oil in 2028 that could help the tiny nation. 20% of the country's population lives below the poverty line, and this could be an unprecedented downfall. Among poll promises made by Gerlings-Simons to boost revenue is tightening tax collection, including from small-scale gold miners, another pathway to improved economic prospects for the country, which lies in its 2019 partnership with China through the Belt and Road Initiative. And with that, we slip into a very short break, but stay with us. You are watching Beyond World is One. Stay tuned.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhi@such.org.in.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The stress of our world can take a toll on our physical and emotional health. Here, in New York's Catskill Mountains, lies a luxurious place of healing called WION Wellness Center. The WION Wellness Center provides 500,000 square feet of natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yo1.com.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
The Earth is sending distress signals. Wildfires, droughts, and melting glaciers. Can we reverse the damage? Explore the harrowing effects of climate change. It's a wake-up call. Global emergency. Climate Tracker on WION World is One.
Vielleicht nur als 5%.
Welcome back to WION The World is One, and thank you for staying with us. We're glad you're watching. Time now for Fine Print. American Joker. Let's begin this broadcast with the headlines. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian says in an interview that Israel, which last month fought a 12-day war with Iran, had attempted to assassinate him. No breakthrough in Israel. Hamas indirect talks on Gaza truce in Doha. Hamas hopes to reach agreement, says talks will continue. This ahead of President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu meeting in Washington. Russian Transport Minister Roman Stravoit reportedly shot himself dead in Moscow suburb. These hours after being dismissed from his post. US President Donald Trump's aggressive trade policy faces a critical week as he races to secure the bilateral deals he'd promised. This ahead of a shifting deadline for reimposing steep tariffs on dozens of economies. The summer camp hit by flash floods in Texas says that 27 campers and counselors had died as state authorities put the overall death toll from the disaster at more than 80. Kenyan police opened fire on a crowd of advancing protesters in Nairobi as demonstrations broke out across the country to mark the 35th anniversary of pro-democracy rallies. Authorities confiscate 18 lions kept illegally as pets in Pakistan's Punjab region during a crackdown after a lion escaped from a house and attacked a woman and 2 children. South Africa's WION Mulder hits a triple century on his debut as Test captain. Mulder scores an unbeaten 367 against Zimbabwe for the 5th highest individual score of all time, and he sacrifices a chance to break Brian Lara's world record of 400. Let's begin with some breaking news coming in from Russia. Russia's Transport Minister Roman Starovoit has taken his own life hours after being dismissed by President Vladimir Putin in a dramatic turn of events that has sent shockwaves throughout Moscow. Starovoit shot himself in a Moscow suburb following the announcement of his dismissal. According to the country's investigative committee, which confirmed his body was discovered in a car, the sudden death marks an end to what appeared to be a promising political career that had taken a catastrophic turn. Putin's decree removing